Have you ever stopped to wonder, what if the world you see around you is not the real world at all? What if everything you believe to be true is just a shadow? Think about this. You've seen circles everywhere, coins, wheels, plates. But have you ever seen a perfect circle? Plato believed that perfection exists, but not in this world. Over 2,000 years ago, a man in Athens tried to answer the deepest questions of life. What is truth? What is knowledge? What is justice? His answers still shape the way we think today. So let me ask you right now, are you living in reality, or are you just watching shadows on a wall? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, Plato might just change the way you see the world. Plato lived in ancient Greece from 427 to 347 BCE. He was a student of Socrates and the teacher of Aristotle. Together, these three shaped the foundation of Western philosophy. Plato also founded the Academy in Athens, the first institution of higher learning in the Western world. At the heart of Plato's philosophy lies a powerful idea that what we see around us is not the ultimate reality. The real truth lies beyond appearances, and to understand this, Plato makes a distinction between knowledge and opinion. Plato says opinion is based on the senses, what we see, hear, and touch. It's temporary, subjective, and can often be wrong. Knowledge, on the other hand, is based on reason and intellect. It's permanent, certain, and true. For example, if you say, "This rose is beautiful," that's an opinion. But when you try to understand what beauty itself means, that's knowledge. For Plato, true wisdom is about grasping universal truths, not just temporary experiences. Now comes the heart of Plato's philosophy. His theory of ideas, also called the theory of forms. Plato believed that our material world is changing and imperfect. But beyond this world exists another realm. The world of ideas, which is eternal, unchanging, and perfect. Think of it like this. You've seen many round objects in your life, like coins or wheels. But none of them is a perfect circle. Yet in your mind, you can imagine a perfect circle. That perfect circle is an idea. For Plato, the things we see around us are just imperfect copies or shadows of these eternal ideas. These ideas, according to Plato, have some key features. They are eternal. They never begin or end. They are universal. One idea applies to many things. They are unchanging. They never alter with time. They are perfect, unlike the imperfect copies we see in the material world. In short, ideas are the real reality, and our world is just a reflection. Among all ideas, Plato believed one idea stands at the very top, the idea of the good. He compares it to the sun. Just as the sun gives light so that our eyes can see, the idea of good gives meaning to all knowledge and truth. In the hierarchy of ideas, at the top is the idea of the good. Below it are other important ideas like justice, beauty, and equality. And at the bottom are material objects, the things we see around us, which are just shadows. Plato didn't just imagine this, he also gave arguments to prove that ideas exist. First, the knowledge argument. Science and mathematics deal with universal truths, not individual objects, so ideas must be real. Second, the perfection argument. Even though we never see a perfect circle, we can imagine it. This means the perfect form exists somewhere. Third, the relativity argument. A thing can be big compared to one object, but small compared to another, so the universal idea of bigness or smallness must exist. And finally, the language argument. We use general terms like justice or beauty. This implies a universal reference point, an idea. To simplify, Plato divides reality into two worlds. The first is the world of senses, material, changing, imperfect, and known through opinion. The second is the world of ideas. eternal, unchanging, perfect, and known through knowledge. While trees in the forest may grow and die, the idea of treeness never changes. But not everyone agreed with Plato. His own student, Aristotle, criticized him. Aristotle said that ideas are unnecessary duplicates. Why create a second world of forms when we already have this world? Others argued that Plato's theory is too abstract and doesn't explain change, diversity, or practical life. The famous third man argument also questioned how ideas relate to real things. Still, despite the criticism, Plato's philosophy had a massive influence. To explain his ideas, Plato used a famous story called the Allegory of the Cave. Imagine prisoners chained inside a cave. They can only see shadows on the wall, cast by objects behind them. For them, those shadows are the only reality. One day, a prisoner escapes. He steps outside and sees the real world. The sunlight, the trees, the mountains. At first, it hurts his eyes, but slowly he understands the truth. When he returns to tell the other prisoners, they laugh at him. They can't believe that their shadow world isn't the full reality. This story is symbolic. The cave represents the world of senses and ignorance. The shadows are false beliefs and opinions. The escape is education and awakening. The outside world is the world of ideas and truth, and the sun represents the idea of the good. In short, the allegory shows how education takes us from illusion to knowledge. Plato also explains knowledge with the divided line theory. He divides reality into two sections. The visible world, which gives us only opinion. This includes imagination, shadows and reflections, and belief, the physical objects we see. Then comes the intelligible world, which gives us knowledge. This includes reason, mathematics and logic, and finally, intuition or intelligence, which means understanding the ideas directly, especially the idea of the good. So, for Plato, knowledge is about moving upward from imagination to ultimate truth. Now, is Plato always right? Not necessarily. His theory is abstract and sometimes impractical, but his greatness lies in asking the right questions. What is truth? What is justice? What is reality? Even today, we're still influenced by Plato. His works shaped ethics, politics, education, and even science. His vision of an ideal state, his stress on justice, and his belief in higher truths make him one of the greatest philosophers in history. So, to sum up, Plato believed that our world is just a shadow of a higher reality, the world of ideas. True knowledge isn't about opinions or appearances, but about understanding eternal truths. His Allegory of the Cave reminds us that education is a journey from darkness into light. What do you think? Do you agree with Plato that the world we see is just an illusion? Or do you side with Aristotle, who believed that reality is right here in front of us? Let me know your thoughts, and thank you for listening to Plato's Philosophy